So good morning, everybody. We are now live and we are kicking off our first webinar for our 2021 webinar series. I want to welcome you all and I want to thank everyone who is logged in on Zoom or who is following us live on Facebook. As Strategy Up, we did a commitment this year that we're going to launch a weekly webinar about the opportunities and challenges of going digital. And today I have with me a very old friend, Shahzad, who is going to talk to us about the future of digital marketing and is it a real rival to traditional media. Just to tell you, I met Shahzad probably 15, 16 years ago, Shahzad, right, in Kuwait, around
Yeah,
2005,
we have
2006.
history together. Yeah,
Oh,
we
yeah,
launched the first GPRS and data network. So
exactly.
we actually started the digital movement actually.
Exactly. You know, time is flying. And
Yeah,
then probably we lost contact for the past maybe 10 years. And then here we
true.
come again. We met in Canada. You are based in Ontario. I am based in Nova Scotia. And we are now here to discuss the digital marketing. So Shahzad, I will just give you the few minutes for you to do a small intro about yourself and let our viewers know more about you before we dive directly into the topic.
So good morning, everyone. It's truly a pleasure being here with Mark. And yes, well, Mark and myself started digital on mobile phones back in, I would say, in the early 2000s. Yeah, when
Yes.
people didn't even know what GPRS or WAP meant. So we started the push to the digital revolution way back then. Absolutely, we did lose touch for quite some time, and then we got connected digitally.
Yes.
So it keeps coming back to it, doesn't it? So yes, I'm currently based in Toronto, Ontario, along with my family. We just moved here. It's been an interesting journey. And I'm truly looking forward to this webinar and having an open discussion with Mark, because we both have ideas on digital and how it fits into the whole bigger picture. So this should be an interesting webinar, and I'm hoping it's going to be totally open and we get lots of questions, and we'll be totally transparent. So
yeah, definitely. You know, I am looking forward for this discussion because what I felt is that COVID pandemic pushed us all to jump on the digital, I would call it bandwagon or era or wave. And I think that every business, every single business has digital in mind. Some of the businesses don't have lots of expertise in it, in-house expertise. Some others are the real experts, like you, Shahzad. So why don't we start by just talking in general and trying to understand what is the impact of digital marketing and digital sales in this current situation?
So it's very interesting. Digital is, catching up very quickly. If I just go back a little bit, when I would say digital actually started, was that around 2014? Would you agree, Mark? Or
Yeah, it's
around that
at the
time it
main
started.
wave. Yeah.
Yeah, then the wave started, and I remember when I was discussing with so many brands about digital, and nobody took us seriously at that point. They didn't feel that digital was the right fit for their brands.
Yeah.
As time passed, from giving us no budgets to actually put on digital, and we had to use it from our own internal budgets, we came to a point where they allocated 10% and then 15%, and it went all the way up to 40%. And some of the brands even stopped allocating money to traditional media, which I found extremely strange. Because I think
Yeah,
there's a lot of room for that.
We're
Yeah.
going to talk about this and the budget allocation as well between traditional media, which is TV, radio, print, which is brochures, newspapers, magazines, and as well
And
billboards.
billboards as well, I think, fall
Yes,
into traditional media.
yes,
So
definitely. I also saw many people who just not only refused to go on the digital bandwagon, but they still don't believe that it is the right thing for them. And I remember we were just discussing while preparing for this webinar that you were talking something about how people were thinking that the likes of Netflix are going to be a real threat to the movie theaters.
Yeah, or they said, right, the radio, TV will kill the radio. I mean,
Yes.
today radio is very much there, and most of us are listening to radio while we're in our cars, while we are, at home. So TV did not kill radio. Netflix did not kill the cinema, right?
Exactly. So probably we are afraid of innovation, right? We are a little bit wary of just jumping on something that is new.
Human nature, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yesterday also while preparing, we got some statistics and some interesting information. So what can you talk about this slide, for example, about the drawbacks of traditional marketing? How true is it? This is statistic coming from Life Marketing. It's a marketing agency in the US, and I think in Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia. And they did some statistics in 2019, which is not very, very old. So what can you say about this?
So, I take this with a pinch of salt, yeah? It says 50% say that it's little or no interaction with your audience. I think that's not right, right on the money, yeah? Because I think you interact a lot with your audience, again, depending on your product. When you look at magazines, for example, when you're sitting in a waiting room, that's the first thing you pick up, right? Even though you have your phone with you, the coverage may be bad, or you're on a call. So you actually flip through those magazines and you look at the ads, and those ads actually talk to you, yeah?
Yes.
So is it 50% little or no interaction? I don't think that's 100% true. I mean, what's your take on that, Mark?
Yeah, well, honestly, when I was looking at this, and here I will just give a small shout out to a webinar which is going to have in 2 weeks from now. It's all about the customer experience. And in 2 weeks, we're going to have another webinar with one of our guests, Sergio Frias. He's going to talk about customer experience in the digital era. And I think this is the main discussion, is that yes, you might have no interaction or little interaction because you didn't build correctly your customer experience and your customer journey. This is my take on it.
Yeah. So again, traditional media has a place. Is it very costly? Yes, I guess it is. But that's the cost of getting the right customers. Yeah.
Yeah, but honestly, I think that also digital media and digital advertising is not cheap at all, right? If you want to do a campaign on Google Ads, you have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars. And then we will talk probably, we don't want to have a spoiler, but at the end of this webinar, we're going to talk a little bit about why these costs are going so high and are they really efficient, right?
True. So it is costly, yes, but it all depends on the quality of the ad, right? I mean, the feel of the paper, the beauty of the billboard, the person speaking on the radio, it all reaches out to people. Yes, I know you can do it digitally, you can do it on YouTube, but when you see a YouTube ad, like today I was on YouTube and I just skipped the ad.
Yes.
Because I'm really not interested. But YouTube counts that as, a successful impression. Was it successful? I really don't know, yeah?
They count it after 3 seconds. So if you skip the ad on the 4th second, they count.
But it doesn't let you skip for 5 seconds. So they ensure that they count it, yeah?
Yes. So
some of the ads which are good, which you cannot skip, I think they charge extra for that, which are usually only 10 seconds.
Yeah.
That you're forced to see it. Does it stay with you? Some do, some don't, yeah?
Of course.
But when it comes to cost, I think, as you said, right, digital is not cheap. They started at a very good price point, but they have not stayed there. Yeah, they are slowly increasing their prices in a very smart way.
Once for my own business, I was doing a campaign when I mixed between LinkedIn advertising, Google Ads advertising, Facebook advertising, Google search, and this kind of stuff. So the monthly cost came up quite hefty, I would say, right? For just one campaign. And compared to probably a radio campaign or a billboard campaign, I would say it was almost similar.
Okay, that's very interesting.
Yeah, it was almost similar in cost for like a specific duration, right? I'm not talking for the full year. But, and then the question is that the efficiency, right? So of course, optimization, digital optimization, and having the right audience setup is very important online, right? And finding the keywords. So there is lots of
there's a lot of research, and you have to pay for that research. You have to take that into the cost factor. Yeah.
Yes, of course.
That research is not free.
And of course, it is understandable that not every single business have this knowledge in-house. So probably they are seeking the help of experts, of freelancers, of consultants, of digital...
And advertising agencies also.
Exactly, advertising agencies to help them set up all this, yes.
And that's a cost, and that's a cost.
Yeah, it is. There is definitely an additional cost, yeah.
And that goes as part of your advertising and marketing budget, right? So not to say that this does not have a cost to do the design and the setup also has a cost, of course. Yeah. But I think it's two different streams and we need both of them.
Yeah. You know, my take on this is that we can safely say that if you want to go digital, you're not really saving money, but you are technically reallocating your costs to have probably a more optimal result.
Correct.
Right?
Because you're targeting two different market segments, right?
Yes.
And also I think it's very product dependent.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to buy a high-end luxury watch, you like to read about it. You want to know the story. You want to go back to it over and over again. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's all very dependent on what the product is. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. It is very different from industry to industry and from product to product. Yes, of course.
Yeah. I think a simple thing, like, you know, we all received a lot of e-greetings for Christmas and New Year. Yeah.
Yes.
You got loads of emails. It was my email box was flooded. Yeah.
Yes.
From different companies, different real estate agents, so on and so forth. But then I got a lot of cards. You know, a card,
right? In the regular mail.
Regular mail, a beautiful greeting card with a nice, you know, a gift card inside it. Oh, that person could have done all that digitally as well, right?
Yes.
But the closest you felt to that person and to his organization was incredible.
Yes.
Because he went out of his way.
Touch, there is the handwriting, right?
There's a little card over there which says thank you. And when you go use that card in the store, the first person you think of is him.
Yes.
And the next time I think of real estate, it will be him.
Yes. I agree with you. So technically we need to say that we need to marry the online and the offline experience, right? We shouldn't use exclusively one or the other, right?
Yes, absolutely correct. Yeah.
Yeah, so this is what also I always recommend to our clients to do the same, is that to find an online offline environment. Here we have someone on the chat saying, oh, this is Andrew saying that I feel that drugstores and department store going digital is taking over, but luxury niche market will always have the human-to-human demand, including fashion shows, for example. Yes, that's true. You know, there is always a need for this. But, you know, today with COVID, I am not sure what kind of fashion shows we're going to have, right? Recently.
It's going to come back. It's going to come back. I mean, if you see the likes of Amazon who are selling fashion online, and I'm sure we've all ordered things which look beautiful online, but when you get them, like, oops, what have I done, right?
Yes.
And you don't know what to do with it. You return it and you're unhappy, you're not satisfied. So,
yeah.
I think we have a question as well.
Yes, we have a question from Sanjay. He's saying, don't you think we are skipping digital ads due to them being boring or annoying? Sanjay, I cannot agree more with you.
100%.
Because actually, I think that the problem with digital ads is that the likes of Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, and all the social media platforms made it so easy for us to click, upload an image and post and push an ad, that we're not really thinking anymore about the marketing principles. And this is the problem. We're not thinking about the 4 Ps. Some people are talking about the 5 Ps, but I still like to talk about the 4 Ps.
It's still the 4 Ps.
Yeah.
That's tradition. You cannot change it.
Exactly, right?
That's the core.
Yeah. So when you're not looking exactly for when you're not really looking for the target market, target segment, you're not doing the research, and then you're not doing the graphic design that talks to the segment. And then when you go into Facebook or LinkedIn, you create the right target audience. This is the problem. Some people don't know how to create a target audience, and then it goes to everyone and anyone.
They shoot in all directions. They just start shooting in all directions.
Exactly. And then the problem is that people tell you, oh my God, I spent thousands of dollars on these ads and I got 0 sales. And guess why?
Yeah, because you shot at low-hanging fruit, right?
Exactly.
So we used to run campaigns in my previous job, and we'd go push digital and we'd say, oh, wow, we've got so many impressions. So many people have actually clicked on it. But what would they translate into sales?
Yes.
At the end of the day, the sale would happen because of word of mouth, or I would call a mix of traditional and digital marketing, which I say is push SMS, where you're actually pushing SMS to your customer.
Yes.
It's digital, but it's traditional in a way because it goes to that customer specifically.
I completely agree with you. And, there is something that is very important. When we say word of mouth, it's testimonials. You always need to have customer testimonials. If it was online or offline, the best thing to have is to have a customer to endorse you, right? A past customer going to say,
a customer who's not an influencer, who's a true customer.
Yes. Yeah, you didn't pay, right? You didn't
pay. Exactly, yeah. So,
exactly.
It's a true influencer then. I mean, it's a true customer.
Yes. So we have another question from Majid. Majid is saying, what do you suggest about digital marketing in the agriculture industry? Oh, wow.
Wow, that's a deep one. So you do see a lot of digital ads for the agriculture industry. I keep seeing for the Canadian milk industry. I see a lot.
Yes.
Then we see a lot of for restaurants. They use it actually. They try to show how they're feeding their cows with the best agricultural products, so on and so forth. So it is creeping in.
Yes.
How effective it is, it's a little a tough one for me to answer that one.
Majid, I think it is difficult to answer today, but thank you for asking this question. It could be one of our topics during this series of webinars. Our commitment is to have every Wednesday during 2021 a live webinar with the guest. So I will keep it as a note with me, and then hopefully we will have a topic about the agriculture industry. And we know that agriculture is big in Canada as well, right? So it's very important to tackle this industry. And I am sure we can find some good experts to talk about it with us.
And you can see it today, for example, in India, the demonstrations taking place by the farmers, yeah?
Yes, exactly.
And it's all linked.
Yes, definitely.
And it's all linked. I mean, that whole discussion is now being digitally transmitted, yeah? And being used and abused, by the way.
Yeah, we have another question. This is from an anonymous attendee. What negative impacts do ads have on mental health? How do digital marketers face these challenges? I want to tell you that we have already a scheduled session for, I think, February 3rd about mental health and what is the impact and how to do copywriting for your services online for mental health. So we already thought about this. So thank you so much for asking. So please keep a note, follow us on our website, on our Facebook page, on our LinkedIn page. You will have all the schedule, and then we're going to tackle mental health early in February. So please bear with us, and I would love to see you again, dear anonymous attendee, in our next webinars.
But
we have too many questions, right?
Yeah. So having said that about mental health, yes, it does have an impact. Yeah, yes. It changes the way we look at things. The perspective of things changes. The perspective of how we view products change. Yeah.
Yes.
And digital plays a big part in that because it keeps hammering you with it, right?
Yes.
Shahzad, we got questions and we have chats.
Yeah. So. Shahzad, once you told me to watch one of the documentaries on Netflix about the impact of digital media, right?
Yes.
What was the title? Do you remember?
I can't remember the name of that, but it was an incredible.
Yes. So we will find the title of this documentary, and we recommend that everyone watches it. It is on Netflix.
It's an amazing,
it's an amazing documentary with testimonials from employees of the major social media brands.
I think it was called social media.
Yeah,
I think it's called social media.
Yeah, please go there, and it's very interesting. So we have David. David is asking, do you agree that digital presence is required for branding? Marketing is to create brand recognition, build relationship, then address the needs. Digital is now an additional component of marketing.
Fully agreed. Branding is, I mean, it's not only digital, it's also traditional. You need both medias to do branding, and branding is very, very critical. Yeah. I think today, myself and Mark are also branding ourselves digitally.
Yes.
That's why we're here, right? So in a way, that's what we're doing. Yeah. So yes, branding is very, very,
definitely.
Very, very.
You know, David, it's 100%. It's an additional media channel which we shouldn't ignore, which we cannot ignore. I still see some of our clients, potential clients, who are trying to still like live in a denial, saying that digital is not the right way. But it's definitely a channel which we shouldn't ignore. On the chat, I think, thank you, Anju and Nabil. They said that the documentary on Netflix is called Social Dilemma.
Yeah.
So please go and watch the Social Dilemma.
It's a must watch.
Yes.
It will actually change the way you look at things. Yeah.
Oh yeah, unbelievable.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the guys in that movie who have given interviews, I don't think they have their jobs anymore.
Oh yeah, I think they are out of their companies. Yes, and this is why they gave the interviews. Yes. Yeah. Yes.
But it's so true. What they've said is bang on, and that also answers the question to mental health. Yeah?
Oh yeah, of course. It's all about mental health.
Yeah.
I think there is one guy who was working with Facebook. He says during this documentary, he will never give a mobile phone to his kids.
Yes.
Right?
With access to Facebook or any other social media.
And he's forbidding them to use any of the social media, and his kids are like now maybe 12 or 13 years old.
It won't last very long. They will go over and above him. You cannot run away from digital media, like it or not. Yeah. So
that's true. That's true.
And you got to keep in mind, digital is important, because even when you get it by traditional media, right? When you see it in a newspaper or in a magazine or on a beautiful billboard, you see an ad for a car, you will go online and do your research. I think 70 to 80% of us do that anyway.
That's correct. So now I just launched a poll to just understand the opinion of our viewers and our followers about their views on digital marketing versus traditional media. We're going to give them a minute just to fill this poll, and then we're going to move to the next topic, which is on the next slide, which we're going to show in terms of statistics around digital media as well. So while they are answering the polls, I think we can go back to the slides, and then let's talk about this one. So this is, now we're talking about the media spend and the budgets of businesses. And this is statistics that is coming from the United States with the forecast until 2023. And it's done by the eMarketer. So what can you tell us about this, Shahzad?
So as you can see, traditional remains, yeah? It keeps shrinking, but we need to keep in mind that there is much more research done on traditional media, yeah? It is the oldest form of marketing.
Yes.
It's not going anywhere. It's like the radio, right? Did it go anywhere? I mean, there used to be people, sitting around the radio in groups listening to it. Yeah. Exactly what we do with the television or YouTube today.
The only place it went online. Now we have online radios on top, right?
Exactly. So you got applications like TuneIn, where you can listen to I don't know how many thousands of radio stations, who also push digital ads to you, but then give you the option of paying and not seeing those ads.
Yes.
So it makes it very interesting, right?
Of course.
So it makes it interesting, because then you are concentrating more on the ads that you're listening to on live radio.
Yes.
So that's a merger of traditional and digital, the way I look at it. Yeah.
100%. And when I look at this statistics, what is really striking is that we see that the digital budget spend is growing over the years, whereas the traditional is slightly going down, but it is in a way steady, right? So like
and
we are
it's
still
not
in the 100 million.
and it's not going down the way digital is going up.
100 billion, yeah. Go ahead, sorry. Yeah.
It's a billion, yeah. So it's not going down the way digital is going up. Yes, there's more on digital, but traditional maintains its hold, right?
Yes, yes, of
So,
course.
that makes it very, very interesting. I think this picture is very true, because if you go, further back into history and you see 2014 and 2012, it was only 10%, which was traditional.
Yeah.
And 2018, it's almost 50-50. So
yeah, exactly.
How effective this graph is going to be, only time will tell, yeah?
Yes, of course. Yeah, because there is, because we don't know, most probably this one was done before the COVID-19 crisis.
Exactly, yeah.
So probably they didn't take into consideration the impact on 2021, 2022, 2023, and even
Correct.
2020, right?
But even with COVID, I mean, when I walk into a grocery store today, where you have to wait in line to get in, when you walk in, they still have brochures out there. There are products placed on the first page for a particular reason, so that you see them first.
Yes.
Sometimes you see even, special promotions by the brands themselves. That means you have paid to be on page one.
Yeah, of course.
And we all pick those up.
Yes.
And that actually works, because when you're in the store and you're looking at it, you go, oh yeah, this looks good. I need this, even if you don't.
But Shahzad, there is always a flip to the matter, right? Or to the coin. You were talking that Newsweek, where is it today?
It's gone, right? But Time has not. So where did they go wrong?
Exactly. So some traditional media doesn't exist anymore, right? And this is for a reason. And most of the time is for the lack of advertising, because we understand that this is probably 99% of their funding, right?
Yes. Advertising, PR campaigns.
Exactly.
If you see in the Middle East, for example, how many magazines have gone bankrupt, right?
Yeah.
They've disappeared overnight.
Yeah, exactly. Here we have in the Q&A, oh my God, look who it is. Justice.
Oh, our old friend, yeah?
Oh man, Justice was a colleague of mine in Kuwait in 2005, 2006. It was great to see you here, Justice. Thank you so much for joining this webinar.
Yeah, we all work together, right?
Oh, yes. So... Wow. Probably, I don't know how many years I didn't talk to you, Justice. Probably it's my bad. But what you're saying that you think that these figures would have changed drastically, skewed more towards digital in 2020 because of COVID-19. I totally agree with you. And this is what we were just discussing, that this study was done just before the pandemic. And it would be now interesting to see probably towards the first quarter or second quarter of this year, we'll see statistics about digital marketing spend in 2020 and compare them to previous forecasts. And we'll see the difference on the spend for sure because of the pandemic.
Well, but to answer your question, Justice, you say that people have been stuck at home and do not have access to all traditional media. You'll be surprised how many people are just watching television and listening to the radio. Yeah, that comes into traditional media, and all the flyers that we keep getting in our mail. Yeah. So I think that is traditional media. So there is a lot of traditional media still available. But you're absolutely correct. It is probably skewed more towards digital. But the last article that Mark will share with you from Forbes will be a shocker.
Yes, we're going to don't be a spoiler, Shahzad.
Yeah, it's going to be a shocker. I mean, it could be a positive shock or a negative shock, yes, right? So.
Nabil is saying that Mark does not remember me. Nabil, I think I remember you from Kuwait as well, right? If my memory is not failing me, I am sure we were very close when we were in Kuwait. So thank you again for being here. Thank you so much.
We have Ajit with
Ajit is asking something on the chat as well. Yeah. Very few organizations today allocate significant budgets to digital branding campaigns compared to sales push campaigns. Do you agree?
Question, Ajit, what do you mean by sales push? Because sales push can be done both digitally and traditionally. Yeah? So I think budgets are being allocated for sales push, regardless whether they're digital or traditional, and that's needed. Yeah.
Yes, of course. And let me just answer in a different way Ajit's question. We need to keep in mind that marketing and sales, they work hand in hand, right? So We all understand inside the organization, there is a huge rivalry. When sales are not making their numbers, it's all because of marketing campaign.
Yes.
Communication is bad. And if we don't have the numbers, marketing is saying that sales are not doing their job. So we understand very well the dynamics that is going inside an organization. However, sales is the output, marketing is the input, right? So as long as you have a strategy, I go back always to the strategy. Did you define a marketing strategy and the sales strategy before you engage in this digital marketing campaign? Do you have any targets, objectives? Did you define your audience? Did you define your audience? Did you do a research? All these questions are coming back, right? And for digital strategy, and this is really a huge topic, and I am personally having an offline training about digital marketing strategy. And I encourage anyone who is interested in this is to join our training, because going and doing marketing, for example, only on Facebook, then you are missing the point. When we talk about digital strategy, digital is not only social media. You need to build a digital presence, right? What is your digital presence online? Is social media, is your website, is your Google My Business, is local portals where you are putting yourself and making yourself visible as a business that are important to your community, to your industry. Very few of us are really thinking about this. Do you agree with this, Shahzad?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
So there's no two ways about it, the way I see it. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So we have here another question from Rose Naomi. Rose Naomi, thank you so much for being on the webinar today. She's asking, the people dimension of the 5-person experience in marketing is so important for me. It addresses both the customer, client, and the employee, a business owner's human needs and drives. Do you agree? Yes, I do agree. You know, many people are saying the people is the 5th P in the 4 P. But in my opinion, which is why I go back and say always, let's stick to 4 Ps. At the end of the day, there is no product, there is no business without people, right? So
correct.
If we keep the customer in mind and the people in mind, and when I talk customers, is the internal customers and the external customers, meaning employees, peers, board members, investors, business partners, vendors, everybody that is helping us in the business are people. So we cannot ignore them. So
I mean, there is no business without people, yeah?
Exactly.
Whether we are doing the business or providing to the business.
Yeah. So I would agree with you, Rose Naomi, that people is very important, but we will look at people only like if you're looking with a microscope and diving into the verticals of every 4 Ps to really understand how it is impacting the people around us, right? So, but I agree with you, Rose Naomi. Definitely, yeah. It is very important. Salman is asking another question, saying, why is only traditional marketing taught nowadays in most business administration courses in colleges? When will the teaching pattern change since the marketing is evolving? When will digital marketing be given as much as importance to traditional in universities?
Just to answer that quickly, yeah. My son is doing this course right now where he's into digital marketing, and it's being taught in universities today in Canada and in the US. Mm-hmm. It's taking, it's at par with traditional marketing. Again, you can never leave traditional marketing because that's the base. Even digital is based on traditional. If you dig deep down inside, the ideas come from the traditional part of marketing. Yes. It's just been digitized.
Yes. Yes. So as we said, digital is a new media. It's a different channel, right? If we're going Correct. To talk about a marketing channel. But I am sure, Salman, that some universities, and I personally, I am very involved in adult education. So we have Strategy Up Academy, which is doing lots of training and courses for corporates, for business people, for people with experience. And I think that digital marketing is already there in terms of curriculum, but it will gain more momentum, right? But you cannot start digital marketing without understanding the basics of marketing. So for me, the Bible of marketing is Kotler, right? So if you go and read the books of Kotler, and they have the new edition, I think it's the 2019 edition book, which is an amazing book. It has lots of connection to digital. So I really recommend, this is an academic book, but
academic, very academic.
Yes,
but
if you want, go and read the Kotler latest edition about marketing.
But before you read the latest edition, read the old edition of Kotler as well. Go back to reading an edition which he did in, I think, in 92 or 93, yes. And then read the new edition. Yes. And then you will see how they're linked together.
Yes,
they're different books.
I agree with you, Shahzad.
It's amazing. It's amazing how you will see the flavor of traditional in digital, and traditional remains the icing on the cake. Yeah.
Yes, definitely. I totally agree. Well, we have too many questions. I'm trying to juggle between the chat and the Q&A. Arvind is asking, how does one track the sales after running a campaign that is a mix of both digital and traditional marketing? As in, what sales have resulted? Arvind, I think it's simple in a way as an answer, but maybe in the execution it's a little bit more tricky. Is that you need to ask the customer, where did they hear about you? Or digital is very easy because you can have different tracking codes in your URLs and in the sales funnels.
If they buy online, if they see online the ad on digital and come to the store,
yes,
which happens a lot nowadays.
Yeah, of course. So this is why you need to ask the customer at every sale, how did you hear about us? And honestly, this is what I do. Like you will see, or you will all receive a survey at the end of this session. And one of the questions would be, how did you hear about us? Which channel, right?
Which
and
channel,
this is the only way where you can really measure in a way or another as accurately as possible the results. I'm trying to go a little bit quickly because we have so many questions. The time is pressing us. Calista, hi Calista, it's good to see you here. Thank you for joining us. I recently started watching TV again after many years and have been genuinely impressed with some of the commercials media. Many seem to have a more human focus, include masks, and are much less pushy than before, but don't see the same style of ads on social digital. Have you noticed this? Would this be considered a trend that companies should jump on?
So let me take a shot at that, Mark, and then you can give us your wisdom. So you're absolutely correct. The TV ads are more touching the soul. They're touching your heart. They're building the brand's reputation with the person itself who's watching the television. I think on social and digital, they take it to the next step because they've connected with you on a traditional level, and then they take it to the next step of making you actually buy something from them. Because you feel that these companies are so connected to you and to the community. You want to give back. It's extremely, extremely smart marketing.
Yes, definitely. And Calista, I would add that, yes, I think there is a small disconnect between what is going on traditional media versus the TV or the regular or online broadcasting and advertising. I think today in this pandemic, we are all living in a stressful environment, right? Where every business saw a huge dip in their revenues. So probably they are pushy online because they are trying to push sales. Whereas I am coming more from build customer experience, and then sales will come. And I think what traditional media is doing is building this customer experience. And I think it will come. And also the difference is, in my opinion, is that on digital marketing, you have more segmented media and target groups. So you can really go what I call micro marketing. Whereas when you go TV, you have to talk more to the general audience, and you have a wider reach, more visibility, and technically people might criticize you much faster when they see you on TV. Whereas when you are on social media, it is...
you disappear. You're there and then you're gone.
For a specific group that is seeing this ad. And honestly, I can tell you, maybe many people are setting up their ads wrongly, so they are not really reaching as many people as they would hope. or the right target segments, and this is why they don't have a high engagement rate, right? So
I think TV is mainly for branding. They're making sure that they put their name across.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
it's first in thought, right?
Yes, it's very tough just to answer this question right now, to say like with how to say statistics and tangible answers and concrete answers, but this is my general feeling from what I am seeing right now. Niha was asking about the name of the book. I put it in the chat. The name of the book is The Principles of Marketing by Kotler. So it is here. Oops, sorry, I put it, sorry, I
answered the question, no problem. I already answered it.
Okay, so I will put it, it's The Principles of Marketing.
So David, we have a couple of questions in the chat. One from David.
Yes, go ahead if you can help me.
Okay, so David, you asked, the model of doing business and marketing is transforming. Absolutely. It's transforming very, very quickly, to say the least. When you talk about generations, you're absolutely correct. I mean, that's why brands like Macy's have similar ads running digitally and also on traditional media. So the digital part gets to the millennials and the traditional part gets to the baby boomers and that generation. So both of us see the same thing.
Yeah.
So the millennials and everybody else sees the same thing, and then you can actually connect. Social media is accepted and dropped as generation that, okay, it's getting cut off there.
Okay.
Trend to another drop. So is that, I'm not 100% where social media is accepted and then dropped. I think more and more people are getting onto social media of all different ages. You have kids as old as 10 on it, and you have even the older generation, the people in their 60s and 70s. I mean, I can speak for my mom who's in her 70s, and she's on social media.
Yes.
And that's the only way for her to stay in touch with her kids and her relatives today. Yeah. That's
correct.
And guess what? They're pushing ads to her as well.
So
and it's working, right? End of the day. So
definitely. Okay, let's move to another question. I'm trying just to answer as many questions as we can. If you were a small business with a hyper local customer base, where would you focus your marketing spend? It's a great question, and because we are all living in small communities, and it's important to really look at local customer base. So try to find where this community is technically hanging out. So, and when I say hanging out, either physically or
socially,
digitally.
Yeah, or digitally, yeah.
And you can only know it by doing a research.
Market research.
Survey, right? Many people try to assume. Please don't assume anything.
Absolutely. and smaller communities usually are on their personal blogs. They are reading their newsletters.
Yes.
It just depends on how small that hyper-local customer base is.
Exactly. Yeah. So you need to find them. You need to do your research. It could be probably in your public libraries. It could be within the smaller communities. It could be in a local newspaper that is being printed for the community. It could be on a specific website that is for the community or for the area. So you can really reach out to these customers, yeah. But in order to know how, you really need to research.
And depending on the size, if you have a local customer base coming from different communities or from different parts of the world, you would actually reach out to each community specifically in their own languages, mm-hmm. which makes a big difference.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. So we have another question from an anonymous attendee as well. Could you also talk about the digital industrial trends across different organizational sectors in the US, and which industry will be leading in this segment specifically? I can talk about it because I spoke about this at the beginning of the pandemic last year in March. And I believe that the industries that are going to be leading are the industries who are able to pivot their business very fast and to find alternatives to what was prior to the pandemic towards what is the new normal. And all these industries, so mainly they are in tech, definitely technology. It is in research. Now, much more money is being put into research. It could be any kind of research. We are researching everything from scratch. Like sometimes I feel that we are reborn, right? And we are trying to understand ourselves again from the beginning, right? It's the, I don't know, Shahzad.
In a way, it is that we are rediscovering, right? We are still learning about digital marketing.
Yes.
There's not enough study being done on it.
Yes.
It's in its infancy. It's being
Yes.
pushed drastically by influencers. We get excited the same way we got excited when traditional marketing started and there were new ways of pushing. It's an excitement factor, and we are in that phase right now.
100%. So Shahzad, just to handle the time and manage the time, we still have like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So I am sorry if we're not able to answer all the questions, but what I will do, I will try to summarize these questions and then we'll post some answers on our social media later so that you can come back on our Facebook page, LinkedIn page, our website, and you might find the answers over there.
Yeah.
I am really sorry that we're not able to really answer all the questions, but I am so happy and excited to see that we have such an engagement and interaction with the audience, right, Shahzad?
Amazing. Neha, let me answer your very simple question. Is branding different from digital marketing? Branding is part of digital marketing. Branding is part of every marketing. Yes. Branding is part of advertising, marketing, sales, talking to your employees. It's part of HR. Branding is part of everything. The t-shirt you wear is part of branding. So it's all there. So
100%. So now I am going to the revelation of today's webinar, which is an article written by Forbes. It was written on January 2nd, so it's a very recent article.
This is a killer.
Yeah. And Forbes is saying when big brands stopped spending on digital ads, nothing happened. Why? Shahzad, me and you probably were reading this article last night.
Yeah.
Right? So do you have any thoughts about this? What can you tell us about this?
This article, it'll throw you away. I mean, you have to read it, but most of these companies felt that when they stopped digital marketing, there was literally no impact on their sales.
So when they stopped digital marketing spends and in hundreds of millions of dollars.
Hundreds of millions of dollars were stopped. Exactly.
Didn't have a dip. Wow.
They did not have a dip. So what does that mean? So all that we've been measuring is incorrect, or is it already now in your mind or in the minds of people that they do not need to see this anymore? Is the first thing that comes to mind when you want to call a cab Uber?
Yeah.
Is the first thing when you want to order food, is it Uber Eats? Yes. So they saw no change.
You know, Nabil is saying something interesting. Yes, probably that they are already big brands. They have brand notoriety. They have brand awareness. They have top of mind. They are a brand on top of mind. But
how did they get there? How did they get there?
Exactly. But still, you know, you need to do advertising. And everybody was saying, you know, digital advertising is going to lead to more sales. And then all of a sudden,
that's not the case anymore.
Like they had if you read on the first paragraph, right? Chase reduced their programmatic reach from 400,000 sites to 5,000. This is a 99% decrease.
Decrease, yes.
And there was no change in business outcome. Wow. You know,
amazing, yeah.
Read the article, try to understand why, and they are very spot on. Most statistics that are coming from digital marketing, and especially when you click on this tick the box to extend your advertising on partner networks, you are hitting lots of bots.
Lots of bots,
that are just clicking on your ads and leading nowhere. So that's why think about, and this is our probably closing statement if you want, think about how you do your targeting online. Be very aware of the do's and don'ts. Read lots of blogs, expert blogs about people who spent probably hundreds of thousands of dollars and they didn't get a result, and they will tell you why. So it's very important that we keep this in mind.
And you also need to always refer back to traditional marketers. They really know the core, They know what works. Digital is an extension of traditional. Yes, digital is taking over. There's more in digital, but the base remains traditional. And we really need to hold on to that. I'm not saying that traditional is king. Digital will always be there. So will traditional. but traditional is very important.
100%.
Do not discount it. Do not think that you can go all digital and leave traditional, because somebody is doing that and they're gonna get a part of the market share.
Yes.
And why would you want to give that up?
Exactly.
It's a fight to hold on to your market share. You want both the traditionalists and you want the digital people as well. You want everybody on board. You want, the youth to buy your product, and you don't want the people who are in their 50s and 60s to forget about you. You need to address all market segments at all times.
Yes. I can echo your comments, Shahzad, and I think to conclude today's webinar, my takeaway is traditional marketing is still as important as digital marketing. Digital marketing is gaining in the momentum, but you need to be very smart about how you do your digital marketing so that you have the right results and you don't overspend for nothing.
Absolutely. So you have to be very careful on how you spend, both traditional and digital. Though digital may seem more affordable, but where is the money going? Are you actually getting results? The same holds for traditional. You cannot be advertising something in the wrong media, because you're not going to get to your customer, right?
Yes, yes.
And the more you see traditional billboards, today they're digital, but they're targeting the traditional market, right?
100%.
So again, a merge. You keep merging over and over again. So
it's all the time the marriage between online, offline. Have the balance, find your audience, and remember, not all your audience, unless you are a very niche service provider, not all your audience is online. And if they are online, not all your audience are on Facebook, not all your audience is on LinkedIn, not all your audience is on Google search. So don't just pick one and run with it, because it's like I always say, it's like you want to cool the ocean with 1 cube of ice.
You cannot.
What's going to happen? The ice is going to melt and the ocean will still have the same temperature. So if you do this kind of marketing activities, you're going to burn your money and you will not see any result.
Exactly. And it's very easy to burn money when it comes to digital, because it's all micro amounts, but they add up. They add up.
And how easy they made it for us,
Yes. Yeah. Click, your credit card, and it's done.
Exactly. And they ask you, do you want to add $5 a day for the next?
Exactly. Yeah. And this is how much you reach. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's $500 that you are.
And you don't even know it. Yeah.
Exactly.
So to the anonymous attendee, to additional traditional theories of marketing, you can speak to me and Mark in length, and we can, go in detail with you. Easier, pick up the Kotner book, which he wrote in 93, 94. You will get all the traditional marketing theories and more. Get online, use the digital resources we have, and look at old newspapers, look at old magazines. You will see how they advertise and how they market over there. It's amazing. Yeah, it's history, but you know what? History repeats itself. Yeah, and we can see that in 2020, right?
Definitely.
Or 2019. History repeated itself from 1919, right? So
let's see what the next decades are going to hide for us, and hopefully in 10 years from now, we're going to have maybe the same discussion and see really if digital marketing became the king of marketing or we went back to traditional media, right?
we will have 2 kingdoms with 2 different kings. Yes. And multiple princes. So
yeah, I am sure. So yeah. I just launched a poll about your satisfaction level about this webinar today. I think it's time to end the session. Thank you so much, Shahzad, for your time, for sharing your experience, and
thank you, Mark, for having me.
Thank you all for your attendance over here. All the people who are with us on Zoom and the others who are with us live on Facebook. Thank you so much. This session would be posted later for you, or to share it later with your network online. You just give us a couple of days and we're going to post it on our social media and on our website, and you will have the time to review it as well. So thank you all. I really appreciate it. Shahzad, I am sure we're going to continue having many offline discussions. And please, if anyone have any questions, you can always reach out to Shahzad or to myself. We are very visible on social media. You cannot miss us. So, you know, we are half digital. So I am not going to post an email or whatever. You can search for our names on LinkedIn or Facebook or on for our company's names, and you will find us easily. So thank you so much. I want to wish you a great remaining of the day and a great remaining of the week. And I really hope that I will see you all again on our future webinars. It's the same date every week, every Wednesday, 12 p.m. Atlantic time, 11 a.m. Eastern time. You can see all the sessions listed on our LinkedIn page and on our website, and you can register from there. So thank you so much and have a great day.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day and a real pleasure, Mark, to be here with you, and to all the attendees. Thank you all for coming. It's great to see all of you here, and so many old friends, and hopefully some new friends as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for on the chat to say thank you to us and to Shahzad. We really appreciate. We are thanking you much more than you are thanking us.
Absolutely, yeah. We are lost for words, actually. At least I'm lost for words, yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah. Okay, take care. Bye for now.